Hey boys and girls, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. I'm here with Mike Matei, and we're checking out some Masters of the Universe toys.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time, showing my He-Man collection. Now, I don't have all the He-Man. You probably have more He-Man than I do. I got some, and we'll go through them.
Pretty decent sized collection.
But really what this is about is I want to hear what you have to say about some of these characters, because I don't know He-Man as well as he does. So let's just jump off the bat. Everybody knows He-Man. Let's get into the weird stuff right off the bat. Okay. That's what I'm interested in. So I watch He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I've seen the show. Maybe this guy was in it, but what is the deal with this elephant guy?
So Snout Spout is he was only featured in the She-Ra cartoon. He's actually got like a water pistol feature. You can fill his backpack up with water and squirts it out his nose.
There was another guy that was like, doesn't the reptile guy do that?
Yeah, Cobra Khan.
Yeah, him over there.
It was a gimmick they used a few times because also Dragon Blaster Skeletor has a dragon backpack that squirts water. This guy's whole head comes off.
Okay. Okay, his head comes off, you put water in, and then you squirt it down kind of like a hairspray or whatever.
But he has like a backpack that you fill, and then you pump a button on his back.
This button?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like your figure stands.
I wanted to do this video with you for a long time, actually, and one of the reasons I didn't want to do it is because all my figures would just be on the shelf, and half of them would fall over, especially this dude.
Too bad?
Too bad. His legs, maybe it's just my figure, but his legs are just like
a mess.
See, he doesn't even want to stand up in the stand, but he doesn't want to stand up well, and I think they call it, I've seen these things on eBay, and they'll say like tight legs, or like
loose legs,
or whatever. I guess this figure is just not great. Like maybe you can get too bad with tight legs.
They all have like a rubber band that just so slowly wears out, and there's some people that make replacement ones, but it's a pain to do. And there's also like a trick that kind of damages the toy. Like you can put like a screw eye in there and do it for people that aren't worried about it. If they want it to look pristine, but they're not really worried about the internal mechanics.
So it's not all the too bads. It just happens that mine is worn out.
All He-Man guys over time get
but like I could buy one. Like if I could find,
you might be able to find one with tight joints.
Okay, so that would be probably a better solution maybe. But yeah, so I had the stands made by everybody's doing these 3D printing stuff now. I know somebody that did it. And I had him make them for me, and he was like, "Oh, this is great because now this is a great idea because I think he's trying to sell them now."
I like this style too because there's a few people that make them with like a clip for the foot, but there's so many different styles of He-Man feet. There's like humanoid foot, there's a monster foot, there's a robot foot, and each one of them needs a different like clearance.
Yeah, I know exactly.
So you gotta buy a lot of different stands.
There's a little green one that was made, and I think that's the one you're talking about. It almost looks like a little turtle shell or something.
Right.
And it's not. I looked at that and I was like, these guys like fall over backwards and like all kinds of. So I think that these are like legit.
This is pretty good.
Yeah. So I wanted to go to the next one. So this is a character that I did have as a kid. This is one
of my favorites.
This is one of your favorites.
Yeah.
So this is Fisto. Do you know how Fisto's wife died? He's a great character, and he does appear in some of the.
Yeah, he's in a few episodes.
Some of the episodes.
I think Fisto's Forest is his first appearance.
What is his story though? Like, who is he in the Masters of the Universe?
He's just another one of the warriors.
He's just one of the.
Yeah, I think and
he's a good guy, right?
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah. He kind of seems like a bad guy at the beginning of his first episode because he doesn't know the other Masters, and then like eventually like turns around and teams up with them.
So what else do I got? I think you gave me this guy.
Extendar, yeah.
What can you tell me about him?
Extendar is, I think he was like a knight that was experimented on by Hordak, and that's where he got like his cybernetics.
So is this Masters of the Universe, or
is this? It's from the tail end of Masters of the Universe.
It's not She-Ra.
It is not She-Ra.
Okay. And so this was this on the show?
No,
not on the show.
So the TV show came out. There was a couple of years worth of toys. Then the TV show started for 2 seasons, and then Mattel wanted to create a girls' version of the toy, and Filmation that made the cartoon couldn't run the production of 2 shows, so they canceled He-Man to start She-Ra. Okay. And so the Horde that was coming out as the bad guys became She-Ra's bad guys.
See, that's what
She-Ra doesn't have any really good bad guys. It's Catra, and she's like a jealous beauty. It was like the mean girl.
And Hordak became basically She-Ra's.
Right, so they just used the He-Man bad guys as the She-Ra bad guys.
Okay.
Even though they weren't really part of the toy line. And then that cartoon went away, but they kept making toys for a few more years. So
you mean She-Ra went away?
She-Ra went away, right. So then the characters from the movie, the live-action movie, like Wildor, and
there he is.
Rio Blast, and those guys just didn't make it into a cartoon at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, this guy, I just recently got him because I'm still trying to basically complete the collection. I don't know anything about this dude. I didn't have this dude. I guess most of the ones that came out later, basically, I didn't have. And was Snap Spout later?
Yeah.
See, all the ones that came later, I'm just like getting them now, and I'm just like, okay, let me just complete them. But the ones that I really like knew were like the early ones, you know, He-Man, Teela, Merman, Beastman, like the classic ones. But some of the other ones, so I recently just got this guy, which he was rare, and he's really awesome now. And as far as I know, he's not in any shows or movies or whatever.
He's one of the coolest figures, Skeletor.
Yeah.
So towards the end of the line, they needed to get a line of toys out for like Christmas or whatever, so they needed to rush out some characters. So they did a wave where they just made new heads, and that's where Skeletor and King Randor, and there's a guy named Clampchamp. Those guys came from that wave because they reuse other bodies that they already had.
I don't have Clampchamp. His face looks pretty similar to Skeletor.
It's similar, but it doesn't have the hood on it. You know,
doesn't have the hood.
They did make a new tool for that, but the body is just Skeletor's body.
Yeah, that's funny. Now, I was watching that Toys That Made Me thing. They were saying in that, I believe that Skeletor was like the reason the line blew up. Like kids like loved Skeletor.
The bad guys were so popular.
Yeah. So another dude I have over here is Ninjor.
He's got some of the best accessories in the line. Like,
He's
to come with
awesome.
3 weapons and a cloth outfit is pretty impressive.
Yeah, the nunchucks.
Yeah, with the chain.
With, you know, I'm a fan of Thundercats too.
Right.
The real Panther has a chain on too. I think it might be a plastic.
His is plastic,
chain, but still, it's cool. It's cool, and if you can still find these, you know, toys with like chains intact and everything. So I really wanted to get that intact. I love the little nunchucks. It's just he's a great figure. Again, didn't appear on the show.
Again, yeah, he's from that wave again where they just made a new head on a body that already existed.
Panther and Battle Cat. Basically, this is Battle Cat.
Right.
It's the same thing, and then they just put like a weird fuzzy coating on it. Is it like I almost feel like it's blocking. Yeah. Is that what they did? Did they spray this on?
Yeah, they put like an adhesive on, and then you sort of like pump it. It's like sprayed. Yeah. And it just sticks to the
like
adhesive.
A spray.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
So the Battle Cat and Panther figure was actually from a toy line called Big Jim that Mattel had made. It was similar to G.I. Joe, but a little smaller.
Okay.
Like the big G.I. Joes. And they wanted to reuse some of the tooling to save some money on the He-Man line. So Battle Cat was actually a tiger from Big Jim, and it was actually reused. It was originally a Tarzan Panther.
Okay.
And Zoar and Screech, the birds, were eagles from Big Jim.
Now later, I don't know much about the later He-Man toys and stuff, but did they ever release like just like a Cringer?
No, not until the classics line.
No, that's what I mean. Like even like later, there's been Cringers?
There's a Cringer now. That's like a little PVC that's unarticulated.
Oh, okay.
That's about it.
Okay. Because Cringer was such a big part of the show. I guess they think, like, you know, take the thing off.
Take the thing off. He still looks pretty ferocious, though. Yeah,
exactly.
But I did that as a kid. Pretended I was Cringer.
Yeah. Who else do we got? So these guys, Stondar and Rock-On. Now, there was a... GoBots had the Rock Lords.
Yeah.
But I get them confused with these guys. Where did these guys come in the He-Man?
They weren't in the cartoon. Oh, no, they were in the cartoon, and there was actually a female one with them.
Okay.
And they were supposed to be these comet people that crashed on...
Is one of these the females?
No, they never made a figure of them.
How can you tell?
She looked very feminine. She had like a slender waist. I think part of where that gimmick came from is that they were watching a lot of trends from other countries, and eventually He-Man had a line of things called Meteorbs. They're little tiny eggs that transform into characters.
Okay.
And they imported them. It was like Mattel just got these toys and then said, "Oh, these are Masters of the Universe now." And put them out. And I think that the Rock guys were just sort of like a teaser into that. Like, oh, here we're gonna explain why there's these meteor comet people.
Okay. Maji Locke was this guy I had actually, and I got this might have been one of the last figures that I actually did get as a kid. I always thought he was really cool. I liked playing with him. I think I was at the age, I think I used to chew on this guy. I used to actually chew on, I was very, very, very young.
He's oddly rubber.
Yeah, but I remember actually, speaking of that, like Prince Adam, I think I used to like chew on their heads, and their heads are like squishy. Yeah, especially Prince Adam's head. What actually happened to my originals when I was a kid was, my parents thought that I was like done playing with He-Man, so they took them in a box and they sent them out to my cousin.
Okay.
And then I was like upset when I heard that, and they're like, "Well, you don't play with them." And I'm like, "All right." But then I heard like a little bit later that she like actually like dug a hole and like buried them all in the backyard. So I'm like, they're all...
Well, that's what your cousin did, or your mom?
Yeah, the cousin.
The cousin, okay.
So it's like,
yeah, they just
if you don't want to play it, like at least send them back. I don't know.
Right.
I was not happy about that. All my He-Man are buried. I guess that's...
Have you seen Multibot, the other Maji Locke-like character?
Nah, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, so Maji Locke is all red,
Yeah.
and then Multibot is like part robotic and part like orange and green.
Okay.
It's the same gimmick, and they actually advertise on the package for Multibot. You can combine them together to make Multi-Beast.
Multi-beast.
Yeah.
Oh, you can put him with him?
Yeah, because they use the same little joints.
Yeah, he has all these little joints and stuff, and you can... I almost thought of him as like almost like a Lego, because you can like kind of combine them a little bit like that. This guy I always thought was ridiculous. This is... Give me a second. This is... Grizzlor. And I think is this broken?
No, that's how it works. It like squeezes in, and then when you push this down, it shoots. But I actually broke mine making a video the other day where I tried to push the button. It's like 30-year-old plastic.
So I pushed this button?
Yeah. It's supposed to go twang, but it...
Oh, there you go. Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I broke mine.
I never knew that till right now. So the last couple guys I had was like the Horde characters, and then I was out of it. I never got, when I was a kid, I never got the... Actually, here's a good question for you. So, okay. This is King Hiss, right?
Correct.
So King Hiss, I know is like a big deal on He-Man, and like he is Skeletor lives in Snake Mountain, but it's actually King Hiss's mountain and all that. So this is him, but I didn't have this guy as a kid. So my question is, since I know that I stopped getting the figures around the Maji Locke and Hordak and all this, did this guy come out after or before?
After. So the first couple years was Skeletor was the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, we gotta up the ante. So Hordak's now the bad guy for a couple years, and then
this guy was
Snake Man.
later.
Yeah.
Okay, no wonder I didn't have this guy, because I stopped with like Hordak.
Right. So like Cobra Khan was a Snake Man that worked for Hordak, or worked for Skeletor, I mean, and then Rattler came out.
Was Rattler like his friend or something?
Right. Rattler was part of his army. Rattler, Tongue Lasher, who looks more like a toad than a...
Yeah.
He looks like a tree
Now,
dog.
what's Tongue Lasher's ability?
He has a wheel on his back and a little like plastic tongue goes in and out.
Oh. Is he popular with Tila and Evelyn a little bit?
I guess so.
Yeah, and who knows who else? Maybe Buzz Off. Now I finally did get King Randor. We had been talking about this for a long time. So the question I have about King Randor is, did they ever make Queen Marlena? Marlena or Marlena?
Marlena. They did not until the new Classics line.
Okay. See, I wanted her because she was a big part of the show.
As a kid, I wanted both of them and the Sorceress so bad, and then I lost interest in the line, kind of like you were saying, and then I was in a KB toy store, like looking for GI Joes or whatever the next thing I moved on to was, and I was like, they made Randor and the Sorceress? Like, why were they not out when the cartoon show was on?
That is so funny. I had the exact same experience. In KB, I go into KB and I'm like, King Randor, like what?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know what I wish I had right now? I don't have any of these in the box, but what I love is getting the box and you turn it over and the characters are on the back.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that with the Ninja Turtles too, just like the back where you can see all the characters.
Right.
But I don't have any of those right now. But anyway, that's King Randor. Finally got him. One of my favorites is Stinkor. Now this guy I did also have as a kid, and like he won't actually smell, right?
He's supposed to smell.
He's supposed to smell.
It might fade over time, but they put a chemical in the plastic itself, just like Moss Man.
Okay. Well, I never really remember this guy smelling, but I do remember I loved this guy as a kid, and I always was like, well, he's not on the show.
Yeah.
And I would watch and always watch, and he would never be on the show. But finally, years and years later, when the DVDs came out, I bought all the DVDs, and he is like in an episode.
But just not in much.
Yeah. He's in like 1 or 2 or something. Yeah.
I was always disappointed he didn't have like a weapon. He just had a shield.
He just had the shield.
Seemed like he needed something else.
Yeah. Well, he has
the ability to smell.
So.
What else do you need? I guess.
I mean, he's really the most powerful of all.
Right,
kind of like the isn't there a Peanuts character that's like that?
Like Pigpen?
Pigpen. Yeah. I love this is a web store, and I loved that he came with the little rope and like grappling hook.
Right.
And this would always get tangled up.
Right.
And that always like bothered me, but basically. Maybe you could explain exactly how it worked, because I'm going to actually unravel this and let's see if we can actually make this happen. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically you hang the grappling hook off of like something.
Right.
And maybe if you put your finger out, I'll hang it off of your finger.
There's some sort of a mechanism in there.
Yeah.
So kind of like a curtain blind.
Or just hold it. So he'll hold that, and then I do this. So what's exactly supposed to happen here?
He's supposed to skirt up the wire.
Anyway, I guess he's supposed to go up there. I don't think I ever got this guy to work. In fact, I don't think until right now I knew even what exactly he was supposed to do. But I used to probably just do like hang him off or something and just have him like hang.
Yeah, I used to swim around like he was Spider-Man or whatever.
But anyway, he looks awesome. I always thought he was like just a great design. His face didn't. He just looks like more evil.
Yeah, he's
been like, and he's very devious, and I liked him. He did come back on the 2000s series, and I thought that was cool. He's definitely one of my favorite villains.
They did a good job in the 2000 part, making him a little bit more scary, a little more bug-like. They had like little extra arms and stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely really cool. This is Spike Orr.
Correct.
Spike Orr, and he's got like a club, and he's got this arm that it's almost like a trident.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's ridiculous.
He looks like a Muppet.
He looks like a Muppet. I mean, I don't even know, it's just ridiculous. But I think that's what I liked so much about these characters as a kid. I mean, you have a skunk guy, you have this dude, you have like, where's that Too Bad guy? You have Too Bad. This guy's got two heads.
And he punches himself in the face.
He punches himself in the face. I like stupid stuff. I used to like the 1960s Batman, all that. And when the stupider it is, it seems like the more I tend to like it. I'm a big fan of Snagglepuss.
Okay.
These are the kind of dumb cartoons that I like to watch. So I liked that He-Man had all these dumb kind of characters. There was one figure that I always wish they made, which was I used to call him Broccoli Head, but Evil Seed.
Evil Seed.
They never made one, right?
No, not until the recent line.
They made it now.
They made everybody now in classics.
Now everybody's made it. Okay. Yeah, he's cool though. So I should get some of those new ones. If
they're really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll have to get Evil Seed. This is Mechaneck. Now Mechaneck, I think they featured a lot in the new series. I remember him being there pretty often, which is cool because I think back in the old cartoon they didn't use him too much.
Yeah, he had a couple episodes.
He got a couple episodes, but anyway, what I just want to say about this, because I have a memory about this guy from being a kid. So, and this is not a good story, but I just have this memory. So I probably told you this before. So as a little kid, I would play with this guy and all the different guys, and I didn't know what his name was. So my aunt was over, and I'd be like, I think I had the packaging around or something. I'd be like, oh, this is Man at Arms, just like me trying to remember now. Like that guy's Stinkor, and the other guy's Spikeor, and this guy, oh god, I don't know, but he does this, and she's like, oh, well, his name's Garbage Can Neck, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna call him that. So from ever, he's never Mecha Neck to me anymore. He's just Garbage Can Neck, because it looks like a garbage can. So I still like him. These figures are great. And another one of my favorites, I want to say his name's Cyclone.
Cyclone.
Okay, Cyclone. He, do you like this character?
He's okay.
See, a lot of people don't like this guy. I
like
love
his
this
gimmick.
Guy. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Look at that. He can knock everybody out. Come on.
I think the gimmick's cool. I was always confused as a kid. He looks too much like He-Man, and with the blue skin, he looks like Faker.
I like the hologram thing.
The hologram's cool.
He's got a hologram,
like a radar thing.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's got look at the UFO on his head or whatever. he's funny. And this was one that I think my sister, her favorite character was this guy.
He's one of my tops.
Buzz Off, and he was another one like Stratos, that he had like a whole bug army, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I always thought with this guy it would be good if you had like a bunch of these, and then they could be like the bug army. But you have maybe he has the helmet, so he's
and the other guys are the
and
troopers.
the other guy. Because same thing with Stratos.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way I thought of Stratos, was that okay? Maybe the real Stratos is the blue one.
Okay.
But if you had a bunch of the red ones,
right,
then they could be the warriors. But I got a question for you about these guys. Do you know which one's more rare, the red or the blue?
That I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I know there's a version where his beard is painted blue that's more rare. They accidentally mispainted his beard.
Well, could I just paint this guy's beard blue? And
I guess
nobody would know?
Everybody knows.
Oops.
If Mike tries to sell you a Bluebeard Stratos, it's fake.
I'm going to get into the Bluebeard Stratos market and see how much I can make. Now, I'm going to tell you another funny story. So I got Orko here. Now, Orko came with the little... The little magic trick, which another thing I used to do with my sister. We really like Stratos is in there. Do you remember how the magic trick works?
I don't know how it works.
Okay, so anyway, there's a little magic trick that it came with, and that's easy to lose. So I'm always careful about not losing that. But Orko, here, hold this Diablo.
Okay.
All right, he's got Diablo. Now I'm gonna put Orko on here, and you pull the cord out, the zip cord, and Orko will spin around. So I have another memory of being about 3 or 4 years old when I was into all this stuff, and I was with my great grandmother, and I wanted to show her this because I was so excited. I had just got this.
Okay.
And I go up to her. I'm like, "Look, I got Orko," and she's like, "Okay." Like she doesn't know what it is or anything. And I'm like, "Oh, it's so awesome, whatever." She's like, "Okay, good, whatever." And then so I think that might have been the only time I ever saw my great grandmother.
Okay.
So
This is your only conversation with the lady?
was about Orko, and then the funny part. This has nothing to do with He-Man, but she goes, "Come over here," and to me and my sister, and then I'm like holding Orko, and she goes, she gave my sister $1. She's like, "Here you go. Here's a dollar bill." You know.
Yeah.
She's like 100 years old. She's like, "Here's a dollar bill," and she goes, "And here you go. Here's $2." She gave me $2. She gave my sister $1. And my sister to this day will never let me live that down. She's like, "She gave you $2, and I got $1."
Leech from the Evil Horde.
Okay.
So I didn't have Leech as a kid, but I had a friend that lived down the street that did. And
Okay.
he told me this story about how he stuck it to like the window of his car.
Yeah.
And then he pumped his back like 4 times to get him to stick on. And
Okay.
he swore his dad drove to work and home and it was still there. And I was like, "There's no way." He's like, "You just my dad." And it was like this neighborhood brawl.
I believe it.
I don't know. It makes me want to buy one and like stick it on. But if it didn't work and I found that kid again, he'd be like, "Well, it didn't work now because the suction cup's not as good."
Tell you what, oh, that's true. That's true. So wait, are you supposed?
Yeah, you like put it up to the glass and then that sucks the air out of it.
Let's see. Oh, I stick it on here. Let's see. I know what I'll be doing tonight. Oh my God.
Driving around with Leech
Is that on camera?
on your car. So Mossman, Fisto, and Buzz-Off are 3 of my all-time favorite supporting
Is
characters.
this another like the spread?
Yep, he's covered with flock,
Flock.
and he's got like pine sol scent inside his plastic. You still smell?
Kind of, actually,
bit.
yeah.
And he's just Beastman.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't notice it as a kid for a long time, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh wait a minute, he's got the same face as Beastman." And that's when I started noticing that like, oh, Stinkor has the same head as Merman.
Okay.
And like all of a sudden I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, these guys are really like
the same
recycled."
thing. Yeah. He's speaking of recycled, the animation on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. There it goes. There you go. What's this guy's name?
Leech.
Leech. There goes Leech.
There's no way he stayed on the car and came back.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Confirmed.
Okay. There you go. We confirmed it. The original show, they would rotoscope real people.
Mm-hmm.
Like He-Man in the beginning of the intro, he punches the screen. That's like rotoscope. I don't know if that footage like exists. I don't know if there's footage of it,
but there's stills. They hired 2 male and 1 female bodybuilder to come in, and they dressed one up like He-Man, one up like Skeletor, and the girl was dressed up like Teela.
Okay.
And they just filmed them walking and running and rolling and sword fighting. And then they basically had a system of when they would storyboard it, they would say stock movement, whatever.
Okay.
And then they would just pull out these photocopies
Right.
and do it. They would flip them over. In fact, Orko was going to be called Gorpo, but the G couldn't be flipped, so they changed it to Orko.
Well, that's somebody that they actually had to actually animate.
Right, but they wanted to be able to draw him once and then flip the cells if they needed to.
They're trying to make it as easy as possible.
That's why Man-at-Arms has uniform armor, but the toy only has armor on one side.
I noticed that the Man-at-Arms toy does not have the mustache.
That's correct also. They wanted him to look older than Prince Adam and He-Man for the cartoon.
Okay.
To make him more fatherly.
Because they made the action figure first.
Toys came out first.
Okay.
Yep.
I see. So he always kind of creeped me out a little bit with the big mustache.
With the mustache?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always liked him.
No, I liked him, but
okay.
it was just a little creepy. But anyway, I didn't have Ratlord, but this guy,
Terrorclaw Skeletor.
Terrorclaw Skeletor, he has these giant claws. I just think he like looks awesome. He's almost like this could be like a horror movie right here.
Yeah.
And this is a Dragon Blaster, or that's a different?
No, it's a different one. That's the Dragon Blaster.
Okay, so what's it? Well, this has a dragon.
He has a dragon skeleton weapon, but I don't know.
It's like a weapon. See, I don't really get it because it's on his back.
Take the claws off and then he can hold it.
Oh, it's almost like a skeleton gun
weapon,
kind of thing. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I didn't have this guy, I don't think, as a kid, but my next door neighbor had him, and I was
Okay.
like, oh my god, that's so awesome, I want it, and I never got it.
Do you like Evelyn over Tila?
I do.
Okay.
I like the colors.
Yeah.
Tila's very brown,
That's true.
and I think I think Evelyn is, I like the little, like, magic wand. I mean, Evelyn, it's kind of like the same thing I say about Disney princesses. Who's the coolest Disney princess? I hate to say it, but I think Elsa, because she has magic.
Superpowers.
She has superpowers. What other Disney princess has superpowers? None of them really. Tila doesn't really have any superpowers. She can just fight whatever, and she's all brown.
Right.
So you asked the question, and that's why I think
The character is very striking.
Yeah.
They didn't do the yellow skin in the cartoon.
that's true. She had blue skin, right?
No, she's just like pale.
Oh, she's pale.
Pale
okay.
flesh tone.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Skeletor can be nasty. Like I was watching one episode, and Skeletor like calls her like a bonehead.
Yeah.
Or you know.
He's big on calling them all names.
Yeah. But I wouldn't think he would call her like
Right.
that, because she's kind of like, if she wanted to, she could kick Skeletor's ass.
She probably could.
She's she has just as much magical power. I don't know. I really like her. Nothing wrong with Tila though. She's fine. She's fine, Kevin.
So the weird thing with Tila
Yeah.
is that, notoriously they say girl toys don't sell well in a boy toy line.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like only a
Right.
couple female GI Joes. There's only a couple
Her stuff
fierce-
is so awesome though.
So, in the original mythos, like when you read the mini comics, when she has the stuff on, she's
Yeah.
the goddess who gives He-Man his power sword and the power harness.
Like the sorceress.
And then when you take the stuff off, she's Tila. It was supposed to
Okay.
be two characters in one figure. And then when they made the cartoon show, they were like, that's confusing, and we wanted her to look different, and they went with the bird theme instead of the
Yeah.
snake theme.
Yeah.
And that's how we got the sorceress
Okay.
as a separate character. But if you see the card art on the back of the package, and they say like most powerful man in the universe, hers says warrior goddess because it was she was supposed to be
So
two different
since
things.
this came out earlier, it has all this stuff, and that's why I was gonna say like she doesn't
That's why
have
she
any of
doesn't
that
wear
stuff
that
in the cartoon. Yeah. Okay.
because they wanted the bird person to look different than
She does have a shield in the cartoon, but it doesn't look like that.
yeah,
It's, like,
she uses a
different.
sword a lot.
Yeah.
in the cartoon.
Yeah, she has the sword. It would be different. Yeah. Do you have the whole collection?
I don't have the whole collection. I've got pretty close, but there are some really rare, like Italian only, like at the very end of the line, the last few figures, Laser Light, He-Man, and
Oh yeah, there's some that are like really rare.
they got
right?
sent. Yeah, they got sent overseas and released over there, so they're super rare.
Yeah.
And I'm missing, I don't know.
You have Eternia,
3 or 4
right?
figures. I have Eternia, and I have Snake Mountain, and the Fright Zone, and Castle Grayskull.
What's bigger, Eternia or the GI Joe?
The flag is bigger.
flag.
It's 7.5 feet long, but Eternia is really tall, and it's pretty big once you have the track on it. Like, I've had the 3 towers set up at my
Yeah.
house for a long time, and then I finally got replacement tracks. The original tracks are really brittle. Like, if you buy a complete one, don't put the track together,
Okay.
you'll break it.
It'll break.
So I got a set of replacement ones from France, and I started putting it together, and I was like, I need like 27 inches space on a
Right.
shelf to like set it up. I wanted to put it on top of like an armoire,
Yeah.
and it like hangs way off. I'm
So it's like if you got that as a kid. First, another thing, by the way, how big is the box for that
It's-
thing?
You've got to see this box.
You had the box?
It's a
Oh
running
my
joke
God.
in my group of friends, but it's enormous. It's like this big,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like this deep.
Right.
It's huge.
Oh my god, I gotta
It's
see the box.
so crazy big.
As kids got, back then got Eternia, it must have just been like they take it out and it's basically Christmas Day or something, and then it's their whole living room.
Yeah, it just sits there forever.
Yeah, and just sits there.
I think even if you can just get the Lion Tower, the center tower, looks really cool between Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, even if
Yeah.
you don't have like the
Right.
monorail system.
Basically,
So-
you need an entire basement just to set up
Oh
all
yeah,
the toys.
you have a whole table.
Yeah.
And set them all up.
And
fighting
Snake
each other.
Mountain is another one I don't have yet. I've been waiting on it because I want to get it with the everything intact.
Yeah, the little chains and
There's
stuff are hard to
the
get.
bridge, and then like, there's other like little.
Yeah.
Isn't there 2 things sticking off of it or something?
Yeah, there's 2 chains you can like chain up a prisoner
Yeah.
outside, and they snap real easy.
So that's why I'm waiting, trying to get that. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos.